All right, so the man closest to Jesus. You can take that a few different ways. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is because this was talked about, I want to say, around the time of Easter. I heard about this, and I recalled something to mind about the punctuation in the sentences that talks about where Jesus said, "And today you will be with me here in heaven, in paradise." I think the words, even though they differ from translation to translation, don't really matter as much because they essentially mean the same thing. Or so I have come to believe over all these years. Recently, and I don't remember when, this was passed on to me, and it profoundly changed the way I looked at things, because it still was certain, as in it will happen. However, the punctuation around the word today, if you change it, it goes from being today, as in within 24 hours, this day, you will be with me in heaven. Whereas it's a certainty, as in today I am telling you, you will be with me someday in paradise. It's just, depending upon where the comma is at, determines what the sentence actually means. And the cool thing is, the way sentences were worded back in the day, since they didn't use English, they used Greek, they used a couple other different forms, but the only one I remember is Greek. That no matter where the words were in the sentence, they still essentially meant the same thing. But it's a really cool note that I want to point out there. And as you can, if you just briefly read over that portion again, I think a lot of people tend to skip over the fact that the criminals were judged, I believe they were judged at the same time. So that this man who asked Jesus to remember him saw everything. He saw the actions, the actions of him and of the soldiers, and the encounter between Jesus and Caesar. So, who knows what all took place, but I am certain that this criminal who was convicted that Jesus was who he said he was, because no one in their right mind would want to suffer to the point of dying and then actually dying. So, in short, changing even before death and coming to believe and to accept that what was being said actually was the truth. I think some people are put in that position and things click into place where they do believe, because everything is right there, and they are forced to either accept or to choose to walk away. And when your life is on the line, nothing else matters. Now, in this case, since they were moments, hours from death, his life, his future was on the line. They don't really talk much about this, but it's incredibly important, because being in heaven one day versus the same day that you die does matter to some people out there. Honestly, if my suspicions are correct, and I already mentioned this before in some previous videos, it's likely, I think, that when you die, death ceases to matter to you, because time, you're removed outside of time. Time is something that falls within creation. Outside of creation, I don't believe so. However, who knows, because in Revelation it does talk about there being a new heaven, new earth, eventually. As far as the way that would fall into place, who knows. But that's it. Anyway, hopefully you like this, and hopefully you continue to listen to the stuff, because there's more and more good stuff to talk about. I wish this stuff was talked about more, and unfortunately it's not. It's like our journey doesn't even matter to the church. What matters is the church's vision, the church's ability to extend to others, to pull them into their flock. That's not necessarily bad or even wrong. But on a deeper individual level, there is a lot that is lacking. And somehow it bothers me. Maybe I'll do a video on that later and I'll start breaking things down. Who knows? Right now I have a lot on my plate. Alright, until next time.